Episode 2 was a really important episode for us. Obviously, we've got a short space of time to try and kind of build this story. I mean, series 1 in itself is what, 10 episodes roughly? And we're really trying to kind of get a lot of the story across, whilst obviously the whole focus here is movement and just visually cool stuff with dance, free running, martial arts and all that sort of stuff. So episode 2 was a really important kind of plot builder, where we've revealed Cage, which was a really kind of big factor. We have introduced Tidus, who is again going to play quite a strong role as a character in this series. We've now introduced the Crazy Popper, who was just this really kind of quirky, cool sort of dancer that's kind of, is he bad, is he, you know what I mean, where's he going to place? At the moment we're talking about maybe using him in the mole, as a mole kind of within the movement order, but we'll see how that develops. And then obviously we kind of created this really cool fight scene between the kind of thug from the movement order and Cage himself, and that was more so of like a kind of plot metaphor to really illustrate the fact that the movement order is starting to seriously take over the city. Cage is just this character who just doesn't want to accept that. He's strong and he's powerful, and he doesn't want to accept that's what's happening. But obviously the reality is that is what's happening. The reality is that he can't do it on his own, and that kind of comes across with Tidus's introduction and stuff as well.
I think as well, like you know, obviously when we decided that you know, we kind of had the similar sort of questions, you know, should we reveal Cage early on, you know, but what that obviously allows us to do for the viewers is really give more story, basically base the story more on Cage, and we can go, you know, if every time that we see Cage and he's masked, then we can't really go into Cage and we can't really go into his life and see really you know, about, again, like you say, the vulnerable side of him. You know, it's everything that you see. If Cage is obviously with the mask on, you know, he's going to be this strong you know, strong element to the story, and obviously we want to be able to show that he is vulnerable. He's got these inner demons, he's got these inner issues, and so for us to reveal him early on, now that gives us as filmmakers you know, a lot more to play with, basically, in the storyline, and I think as the story progresses, I think that, you know, the viewers at home are gonna, you know, enjoy that.
Like, how am I supposed to grab it?
Okay, let's go again.
My name's Lou Scandra and I'm an extra on Fusion League. My scene is I'm going to get pickpocketed.
Today here, me and Jaden are doing some acting.
You okay, mate?
Yeah.
What did you do? Just fall over?
Yeah.
No, never mind. Back into the action, eh?
We kind of wanted to come up with something quite original, something quite action-packed really in terms of a fight scene. So we kind of set up a bit of fight choreography, didn't we, in our local gym. It kind of set us up quite nicely because obviously the day when we did the fight scene, we literally knew everything that we needed to do, you know, and the good thing about it is we could expand, couldn't we?
1, 2. Bang. Yeah.
What was really great, I mean, and you know, the pre-production stages are really important when you're shooting a tight schedule. I mean, we literally had a fight scene to do, we had the Crazy Popper scene to do, and we had the mugging scene. It was a full day of shooting, and so basically there's no way that we could have gone on set early in the morning like we did and basically tried to choreograph it there and then.
Exactly.
Because it would have just taken too long.
We really wanted to kind of like make sure we sold the fight, basically, you know, and whereas Adam's got a lot of experience with that, you know, obviously in terms of where you're filming it and things like that, it felt like it came out really well, you know. And we actually tried to add a lot of power into it, so of course I actually padded up as well.
We really tried to make sure that Cage, obviously, he is almost like he's a master of all these different disciplines, and obviously we wanted to get that across in the fight scene, but at the same time we know that he is obviously seeking out all these you know, masters of their specific disciplines, and so even with Cage, moments. We wanted him to feel a bit more gritty, you know, a little bit more raw. He's a little bit kind of broken, you know, by losing, you know, his fusion league in you know, in the past. So he's got this sort of he's got this emotion side of him that is going to come out in the fight scene. I think that's going to look really, really good.
There's a few little surprises as well, like obviously what you wouldn't expect Cage. Expect Cage to be like. Did you see him in the first episode as very professional, very, you know, he's very disciplined in what he does.
There's a little twist. Something tweaked. Exactly. There's a little twist, and you know, and I think we're slowly bringing out the character with Cage, and I think over time you're going to see, you know, some different things happening with him. You know, he's got a lot of emotion. He's got a lot of things he needs to combat inside, you know, in his heart and his head, and and we're really going to bring that out in the next episodes. And the fight scene is one of those first moments that we see him sort of, you know, really kind of go a bit darker.
You don't need to potentially do that in like sort of doing the thing, like hopping. You can literally just be like this, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Take it out, go through, take the stuff.
The old crazy popper, part of Methods of Movement crew from Sky One's Got to Dance last year. I'm here today filming the second episode of the Fusion League. Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's a good day, long day, but good. Just about to film my solo after stealing the purse.
I'm Zara Willis, and I've been acting since I was a child, and then I went out, did all the normal stuff of getting a 9 to 5, doing a degree, and just realised it wasn't really for me, and if I didn't pursue acting further I would probably go out of my mind. So I had to go back to it.
She really did a good job on that, because obviously we want to be able to give more story, you know, without obviously having to do too much. We want to just kind of get the points across nice and quick. So we've only got, what, 10 minutes of each episode to try and, you know, get a lot across to the audience. And so yeah, the idea to bring in a news reporter was a really good idea, and literally it was like the day before we thought of the concept, and we called up Zara Willis, and she was literally in the next day and did the scene for us. So yeah, shout out to Zara Willis for that. That was really, really good. So
yeah, definitely. Zara was great, and that was good. I mean, that was a green screen shoot that we put together for that, and I think the newsreader idea is a great concept that we can run with in the future as well, because obviously it allows us, like you said, to get a lot of story points across in a very short, precise, and still looks pretty slick, and it just works. It works really well. It's a great way for us to get it across. So the movement order are really kind of coming out of the woodwork. They're really starting to take over the city. Obviously this thug is part of that movement order, and that just illustrates the whole point that Cage is trying his best to kind of stop these guys, and he's still stronger than most of them on a one-on-one situation. Obviously he can handle himself and he can take that, but that's where we then brought Titus into the mix, and Titus was a character we thought of obviously straight from the beginning when we'd kind of plotted out the whole series.
Where are you? I'm at the safe house.
Titus is going to be almost like Cage's helper, but he's not. He doesn't really get stuck in as such at the moment himself, but he's very technical. He's very kind of helping in the behind the scenes, you know, helping Cage in the background, and that's very much his role. So he's almost giving Cage advice as well. So they're talking about the crazy popper and how they might be able to kind of infiltrate the movement order through the means of getting Crazy Popper on side, is a bit of a double agent kind of character.
You know, we started off with obviously Crazy, you know, he's a bad guy, he's obviously a bit weird, and that's why people think, you know, I think some of the comments were actually saying, you know, he's a bit weird and I don't know about his, you know, dancing and stuff, and that's because we decided to do that. You know, we actually we decided to make him a strange character, something that you are going to feel a little bit uneasy, you know, towards him, because, you know, essentially he is a bad guy, and that's kind of the whole point of getting him in, and basically getting him to move and be that kind of, you know, creative movement down the street, you know, that's kind of, you know, and it is weird to see that, so that was really good that people kind of picked up on that. And so yeah, obviously at the end, you know, then we started seeing that Titus is then saying, you know, we should, you know, this going to be the perfect mole using Crazy and, you know, infiltrate the you know, the movement order, and so yeah, it leaves it on a real nice cliffhanger for the next one. And yeah, I think you know, with having Crazy on board and all these different elements for this one, like you say, it was a nice story builder, and it really did leave it to the viewers to think, wow, what's going to happen next.
Totally. As ever, we hope you all enjoyed. Hold tight for the next one. Check down in the description for more details, for more information. As ever, of course, subscribe, rate, comment, and send us all your thoughts. And I guess we'll catch you on the next episode.
Catch you on the next one.